My name is Ramyasree and my teammate named Nur Dyana. So the case study that we are going to look today is Bank of Credit and Commerce International case. So in this case study, we are going to look about the introduction, key issues, analysis and evaluation, and recommendation. Introduction. The BCCI scandal began operation in 1972 and expanded outside the UK after a few years later. In 1990, BCCI received allegations after an investigation by Prince Waterhouse. The result led to the end of BCCI in 1991. There are 6 key issues in this case study. First is lack of risk management practices, ethical issues, lack of corporate governance, conflicts of interest, absence of auditing procedures, and confidentiality requirements. First, let's look into lack of risk management practices. BCCI took personal advantage of the gaps in the risk management structure of the bank and its various subsidiaries and overlooked the risk to which the bank has exposed. The deposit holder was lured by the offering by the BCCI of comparatively higher rates of interest, and their deposits provided the maximum proportion of funding for the bank's financial activities. Ethical issues. BCCI was formed from a different complicated structure made of multiple layers of entities. All these activities are completely against the business ethical standards of the bank and the rules governing their operation. Besides, loans were sectioned purely out of favoritism and devoid of any risk management and security procedures due to the officials who were taking huge bribes. Bank was engaged in criminal activity, which includes money laundering to the extent of $1 billion, large scale of bribery of officials of most of those countries, wide support of terrorism, trafficking of arms, and sale of nuclear technology. The criminalities of BCCI further continue with the management of organized prostitution, facilitating large sum of tax evasion, promoting smuggling and illegal immigration. Third is lack of corporate governance. The bank has made large loans without proper backing by securities. There were no proper documentation or monitoring of credit section. When the loan went bad, BCCI was left with no possibility of any legal resources against the defaulters. The bank covered this problem by taking up new deposit, by advertising higher rates of interest on depositors, and attracting innocent depositors only to lose their savings. The bank did not record this straightforwardly on this book, and by otherwise creating a matrix of 4 accounts that hid the losses for years. Its conflicts of interest. The bank was under pressure to earn profit to make up the losses it absorbed from writing off the huge losses from trading and loans. Bank believed that money laundering was the solution. Absence of auditing procedures. The failure on the part of auditors and banking regulation to oversee the operation of bank and report anomaly of this transaction so that alarm could be raised to control the operation of bank in this direction. Last but not least, confidentiality requirement. Bank obtain flight capital from the sale proceeds of drugs in the money laundering. There may be deposit made by the bank out of money earned from the sale of drug in one branches, and then the bank used the same money to finance a loan to the customer through another branch. In this case, the original money which was illegally earned is safely hidden in one of the branches of bank.
Now I'll be talking about the analysis and evaluation. First off is the effects. The bank had made its structure and dealings in such a complex manner that even after considerable time has passed after its liquidation, there was no possibility of understanding them completely. To be more precise, the unprofitable loans granted by the bank, the wrong acquisitions strategies, poor treasury and record-keeping practices, and the practice of the bank in hiding the losses that occurred have led to failure of the bank. This scandal caused major bank scam involving billions of dollars and fraudulent operation of the CCI have resulted in a monetary loss of somewhere between 10 to 17 billion dollars. Next off, I'll be talking about ways to solve. Through the efforts of the liquidator of the bank, Deloitte and Touche, recovery of large sums have been made for settlement to the creditors of the bank. FAFT made almost 40 recommendations related to legal issues, financial service, and international cooperation to help governments to fight money laundering. Since that time, there have been stricter regulations involving money laundering. Finally, we will be talking about recommendations. First is banker's duty of secrecy. A banker's duty of secrecy in Malaysia is statutory as it is clearly provided under the Financial Services Act 2013. The principle of bank secrecy is one of the relationships animating the bank and the customer relationship. The purpose is to maintain customers' trust to banks. The principle of bank secrecy provides an obligation for banks to maintain customer confidentiality. Section 133(4) FSA 2013. Any person who is found guilty of breaching his duty of secrecy to a customer shall be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years or to a fine not exceeding Rm 10 million or both. This imposes a criminal penalty. And next is Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorist Financing Act 2001. Section 3(1) of the AMLA-TF Act 2001 defines money laundering as the act of a person who engages, directly or indirectly, in a transaction that involves proceeds of any unlawful activity that acquires, receives, possesses, disguises, transfers, converts, exchanges, carries, deposits, uses, removes from, or brings into Malaysia proceeds of any unlawful activity. Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorist Financing Act 2001 Section 3(1) of the AMLA-TFA defines a terrorism financing offense as any offense under Section 130N and 130P or 130Q of the Penal Code. Essentially, financing of terrorism includes providing or collecting property for carrying out an act of terrorism, provides services for terrorism purposes, arranging for retention or control of terrorist property, or dealing with terrorist property. And that is all for me. Thank you very much.